Mahagad Cahirlock, and to welcome Minister Sean Fleming to the House today to speak on the Finance Bill. Minister, there are some very welcome changes to the bill as well from the budget of this year, particularly around the increase, I suppose, to the USC is something that's particularly welcome. Also, I suppose, just from a remote working point of view, I suppose we're always trying to look at that from rural perspectives as well, about how we're going to encourage people to live and work in more of our towns and villages across the country. But, you know, that 30% reduction in terms of the electricity heating, and broadband is really important. Broadband's been a real big one as well, because you want to make sure that you're getting quality from your provider, and usually if you want to get a better download speed, you know, you're paying higher rates. So I think that that's really, really important, that if you want to be able to access really good broadband, if you're in a commercial area, that you can do that and that you're able to get this sort of rebate back as well. Minister, I suppose one thing I would probably say is that I suppose the promotion of this, I suppose, is not through your own department directly, but I suppose I'd just be curious about how we're spreading that message about the remote working and about the reductions, and perhaps how we can make sure that that message is going out. Solely because we had a Grow Remote weekend actually in Ballinasloe, and it happened last weekend. They were doing a heritage tour of the town, and it was all about showcasing your region to potential people who may be considering a role in remote working. But I suppose, you know, when I was speaking with them, you know, they might not have been aware of this particular incentive. So perhaps just how we can work on promoting that. Just on the pre-letting expenses for landlords for a further 3 years, Minister, that again is very welcome. I presume that that's on vacant property, so apologies, you might just maybe clarify that one for me. But it's just, I know in my own region that we are dealing with an awful lot of, I suppose, people who are looking to renovate sort of units above shop and retail units. So they're trying to renovate apartments and so on, but the challenge they're having is the costs in renovation, particularly now, particularly certain costs are higher. So what is it that's there to support them? And I think this is very, very welcome for landlords in terms of rental properties. Also, I suppose just in terms of for startup companies, and I suppose looking at the research and innovation and how we're going to support that, I really think that the relief that you've mentioned here as well for corporation tax or startup companies in the first 3 years of trading relief, that's been extended for a further 5 years. This is to support our entrepreneurs, you know, our entrepreneurs who are setting up their companies, looking for support from the state. Again, I find this very, very welcome. Minister, just you have mentioned, and I know this has been very topical, just about the supports under the Employment Wage Subsidy Scheme, and I suppose what the government has put in place in terms of PUP over the last year and 8 months. I understand that this scheme will run at a sort of graduated reducing level until April 2022. I suppose that the challenge we have is that it will close to new employers from the 1st of January 2022. So I would see that this is something, perhaps you might like to comment on it, because I know that, you know, certain hospitality sectors in the hospitality are looking at supports to be put in place. However, how do we have a level playing field if you know, this is going to be closed to new entrants? I understand that the CRSS scheme as well has been brought in to support those employers and employees as well, I suppose, in ways. So, Gurmila Mahagad, Minister, thank you for your time.